The publisher who did number 10 also did number 1.
That's true. Hey everybody, what is up? My name's Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to TerreDice.
And today we're going to be definitively ranking all of the Disney board games that we have played from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, so if you've been watching this channel for a hot minute, you know we like to play Disney board games, and lots of you also like to play Disney board games, and so we are here to set the record straight of all the Disney games we played, board games specifically, which one's the worst all the way up to which one's the best. So let me put on my official ears of knowledge. And if that sounds like something you might want to play, then just keep watching.
Alright, so just as a quick point of clarification, we're going to be just talking about Disney board games, and it's not going to be like reskins of other games like Clue, Monopoly, even Codenames. This is going to be original new games that come in roughly square boxes, so not card games either. It's just going to be board games.
Yeah, so this is specifically games that we have talked about on this channel. We have not played all of them. So like Hocus Pocus isn't going to be on here, and like some other ones like that.
We've played pretty much all of them except for the kids games. So like the Returned, the Headless Horseman, like all those ones will be the ones we won't cover. But this is just about every hobby game that
I
exists.
would consider us experts in this field.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So let's get started with the bottom. Let's go. Coming in at number 10, sadly, this is a game we do not even own anymore.
Scrapped it for parts.
Yeah, and that is Space Mountain.
I would not go on that 17 times. At its core, like, the idea is kind of cool. You're zipping around space, you're, like, collecting some things, but it just, like, doesn't really work. There's a lot of, like, there's a push your luck element where it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm gonna go as far as I can with the fuel, but it just, like, is so punishing that it's just not worth ever doing that, and so it's a lot of, like, start and stop, and you barely make it out the gate. Also, just the component quality of that game was just absolutely terrible. None of the pieces fit in the holes they were supposed to. The fuel gauge goes to 1 instead of 0, which is weird, but you flip it around and it's a mirror image on the back, so it's, when it's on 1, it's on 6. That just the components had a lot of like issues with them.
And I feel like we're pretty flexible with games and trying to see like the best sides of them, but for this one specifically, it kind of felt like a rush job, specifically just trying to get those Christmas sales when it came out.
Alright, this next game coming in at number 9 is my favorite ride at Disney, which saddens me to then say it is Jungle Cruise. So the production value of this one is absolutely excellent. Everything about it looks gorgeous. The pieces are awesome. The art, the story, even the way you open the box and it's got the whole note and the letter. Really, really kind of cool setup. And it boils down to what ends up being just a like roll and move race to the finish, where like some people are just gonna go faster than others, and there's no like basically benefit to going any slower or like even taking some of the shortcuts. So it's purely luck driven, and there's just not a whole lot of content to it.
And they do try and push a lot. They do have the puns in it that you're supposed to read every time, which the first couple times it's pretty funny, but you have to do it every single time a card is drawn, and it just kind of it loses its value, I think.
Gets
pretty
a little
quickly.
Stale. Yeah.
All right, so now that we got past the 2 stinkers, the last 8, they were difficult to rank. They a lot of them have really great qualities, so we did rank them though. So coming in at number 8, we have Gargoyles, which is based on the 90s TV show. Yeah, so while Gargoyles I think is a really great game, the theming is there. We watched the series. It is a very similar. The gameplay is fun.
It's like a dungeon crawler. It's literally like Imperial Assault or like any of those. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But I think it lacks some longevity in the sense that there's like 4 or 5 missions. Once you complete those, you kind of won. Like, it's a great game that I'm happy to have played, and don't feel the need to play the missions again.
Yes, I'm really, I'm very happy that they did Gargoyles and then the theming was there. What's really interesting, it's the same company that did Space Mountain. So while Space Mountain, the theming wasn't there, this one, the theming was there, and it did a very good job.
Oh, so, yeah. I mean, the publisher who did number 10 also did number 1.
That's true. That is a very, that's crazy. So Gargoyles, number 8.
Number 7 is Haunted Mansion. So this is a really cute little set collection game where you are trying to get, sets of cards that score points at the end. Think Sushi Go Party, very kind of similar in the sense of how you're scoring your cards. Where it's probably going to be best is that's going to be a Halloween game that I'll play every October. But it's a little bit bloated in mechanics. There's this weird duel mechanic where you can fight other players, and I feel like it's not really necessary, so maybe some added bloat, but overall a very cool game.
Yes, and where I think this shows that we do like this game a lot is that we actually at one time were culling our collection, got rid of Haunted Mansion, sold it, and then Jonathan was like,
we already have Sushi Go Party, we don't need 2 set collection.
Yeah, and then Jonathan was like, I really want it again, and so we ended up buying it again. Yay!
Yeah, we did do that.
Yes, so Haunted Mansion at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have a Goofy movie game. Now, this one came out last year, and it is a fun game that's also based on the 90s. I feel like a lot of people are trying to bring back stuff from the 90s. It's very hot right now. Where Goofy and Max are going on an adventure across the country. It is very similar to the game.
To the movie.
To the movie. Yeah, it's very similar to the movie where you're collecting different things you see along the way, and it's also a set collection game, memories, as you try and make it to the concert before Powerline does. It is a cute game. I think we're ranking it at number 6 because for us personally, it is on the lighter side. It is definitely a game you're going to be playing with kids or with family that maybe don't play a lot of board games, but it is I think it can teach people a lot about different strategies. We did a full review on this, but it is on the lighter side.
I can't wait to play it with Charlotte someday.
I know, it'll be really fun. I can't wait to watch that movie with her.
Yeah. So, really cool. I think what is kind of a testament to how easy this game is to learn, I learned it in a group setting where they taught 30 people at once from a stage, and we knew the rules in a minute.
Yeah. But it is, what you say in the review, it does have lots of qualities that are in more advanced board games, so it's a great place to learn.
Very much so.
So that's number 6.
Number 5 is the wildest game in the wilderness. It's Big Thunder Mountain. So this is based off of the ride as well, but spun up this whole cute new story about how we're going into town, we're mining, we're donating to the town, we're buying, shares, and really then we also just are upgrading and stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. I think the thing that's really fun about this is you got these mine carts that have to go around this sort of mountain where all these marbles have fallen, and it's a deck builder. So you'll have different cards that you'll play on your turn that can pan for gold and can pick for gold, and you're basically trying to make as many loops around getting as wealthy as you can with those cards. I think this is one of the best games to teach deck building because it is just disguised in this gorgeous Disney theme. So much fun. Yeah,
this one did not get a lot of buzz, and I just find it sad because I think Big Thunder is a really...
I just realized it's not out. Here it is.
Man, it deserves a place. Put it behind us.
Yeah. Here, go in front of Villainous.
Whoa. So I think it definitely should be checked out.
I'll move it down here. You can see it better.
Okay, so Big Thunder. Coming in at number 4 is a 2-player game that we have included on our top 10 list for couples, and that is The Rocketeer. Now, this is based on a 90s movie also?
Yes.
90s movie also, early 90s, where the Rocketeer is battling Nazis, and it's during World War II in America, and it is a really great board game. They've really done the storyline. It's one of those games, the mechanics are done really well, and so if you have not seen the Rocketeer, you will still enjoy the game, but if you have seen the Rocketeer, the theming is also wonderful here as well.
Yeah, really cool little thematic game. Great testament to the movie. I think the quality of the art and components in this game is great. Just really, really overall gorgeous production.
Beautiful. I think it was 2021. It won Gen Con Best Board Game by So it is a really good production. Excellent 2-player game as well. So if you love Disney but want a 2-player game, check out Rocketeer.
Now, number 3 might surprise you as much as it has surprised us because this is a fairly fresh, recent game.
Yep.
That is Disney Animated. This is the last one that we have reviewed on our channel at this point in time of filming this video. It is a game where we are cooperatively, the Disney Studios, animating a bunch of Disney films. So I might be 101 Dalmatians, you might be Fantasia, and someone else might be Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And effectively, on your turn, you're gonna draft a tile from this like river of tiles, very like Ark Nova if you played that. But essentially, you'll do your action selection. I'll paint my background, or I might go get paint buckets so that I can paint my characters on, or I might go get more animation cards to get inspiration. And effectively, you're gonna be layering down these tiles, putting these clear cards on top that give you player powers. You also have your own asymmetric powers that you're using to help other players. And then additionally, there's villains from each of our films that are just causing calamity. So they're making it harder and harder for the films to release on time. So we're racing against those deadlines. And wow, I was really surprised at how much I loved this cooperative experience. This is the only cooperative game on the list. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, there's just lots going on in this game, and it actually is very difficult. It's like pretty hard. Like
yeah, we tried expert.
Yeah, expert is I would start out on normal before you bump it up to expert. But like it really with its cute theme, it reminds me a lot of Villainous in the aspect of like difficulty. And there's just a lot going on, and it's just very thematic, and I was just very impressed by it. Coming in at number 2 is a game that I also think deserves more buzz. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, and I'm going to mention it again, and that is Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances. Now, this is a game where you can battle it out in dodgeball style arena, where you play as different Disney characters, battling it in the arena. But it's like really fun mashups, like Ariel, Jafar, and like Davy Jones or Stitch can all play in the same team against the other team. And this is a 2 to 4 player game. I do think it's better at 2. It really works at that. But you draft everybody, and then it's just very thematic and all of the powers. And it is a difficult game in the sense that it is heavy. It surprises you like how deep you can dig into it.
If you've played Unmatched, this is heavier than Unmatched.
Yeah.
So effectively, like you've got your cards that you've matched up from your 3 decks, and then you can play cards to your discard pile that you're later going to reactivate for their symbols, for their suits. And those are going to be used to upgrade your characters, give them powers throughout the game. Really, really cool stuff. A lot of different asymmetric powers between those players. And the drafting process is almost as fun as the game itself, because when I start getting Dr. Facilier and Jack Skellington together, I know I'm going to have fear. I'm excited.
It really is. When you start to play it more, you know which characters do better together. And when I say heavy in the board game sense, in the hobby level, probably not like extremely heavy, but as far as like Disney games go and its theming, I would say it's pretty heavy. All right, so that is number 2. Go check it out. We have lots of videos about that if you want to learn more.
All right, and number 1 should come as no surprise to anyone. Honestly, it is a game that has just taken the hobby by storm. I don't know how many thousands of copies of this game have been sold across Target and other places around the world. I think what's really cool about this game is that I hear people say, hey, I've never played board games, but I bought this game called Disney Villainous.
Yes.
And so I think what's really cool about this, we got this gorgeous, sexy box cover for Villainous and all of the expansions that give you Disney villains where you get to rewrite history and win as the villain. So what if just the heroes could not come through? That is the whole goal of this game. This has got great card play, interactiveness with the other players as well. You're racing to complete your story first. And yeah, it's just really a great card game that introduces people. It's got a solid rule book. It checks all the boxes to get people into the hobby.
And I think how they've like diversified this is so wonderful. Like we have the regular Villainous, and then we also have Marvel Villainous, and then we have Star Wars Villainous.
And they all have different core mechanics too.
Yes, and they're not just like rinse and repeat. They all have their own little twist on it. And it is I'm just really impressed with how I think it was an early game that I used to start getting into the hobby, and it's really impressive how many people it's been able to bring in. So Disney Villainous we have, and we'll always review those games on this channel. So thank you guys for supporting it, and yeah. So that is our top 10. Well, top 10. So worst to best.
Yeah, there just happened to be 10 of them.
Yeah, there just happened to be 10 of them. Worst to best. Let us know down in the comments if you think we missed one that you think deserves a spot on this list that we should be checking out.
I hope not.
I hope not. Or if you would rank them differently. I'd love to discuss it and hear why. All right, as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we put out a new video. And we'll see you next time.
Happy playing.